Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. So today I am going to be making a beef tallow soap. This is going to be one of the original soaps that people made back in the day. It's not going to be a potash lye, so I'm not going to be rendering my own lye from wood ash. So I'll be using my usual lye that I work with. Now, one of the things that's really nice about this is it produces a very hard bar of soap, but because it's going to be very conditioning, I find that it traces much slower. Trace is just a state of agitation, and where the lye will break down the cell structures of the oil. So I've got about 300 grams of oil here, and I've got 41 grams of water. And then I'm going to add 40 grams of my lye. Just my granulated lye. And you always want to make sure that you add your lye to your water, not the other way around, because it can explode on you that way. I want to make sure I get all the pieces in there. I'm just going to mix this while it's still very hot. It's cloudy right now, but once it clears up, I will then be able to add it to my oils. You want to make sure that you do this in a well-ventilated area, so that way you don't breathe in any of the fumes and stuff, because that's kind of nasty. One of the things that I really like about this soap, while this lye clears up, is it is very conditioning. It feeds your skin. It does not strip anything from you. It's very, very hydrating, which I'm going to actually use this as a saddle soap, because it works really well on getting everything clean, but it doesn't strip any of the oils and stuff from the leather. Now, if you want to use this on your skin, it's perfectly fine to do that. You can add fragrance oil or any kind of essential oil that you want to this to make it smell nice. I don't plan on doing that with mine because, again, I'm going to be using this on leather, and I don't need any kind of fragrances or stuff like that to be involved. Now, because this does trace really slow, I did a lye water reduction. The lye water reduction is going to mean that I've got about as much water to lye ratio in my pot here. And this is going to help speed up the trace. It's going to speed up the curing time as well as the setting time. And I like to make sure that my oil is also quite warm, because that also helps speed those things up, because this oil is slow to trace. So mixing everything together. It's well incorporated. Got a very small batch. Now it looks kind of yellowish right now, but the oil itself is very kind of a light cream color, so it's very nice once it's completely finished. Go ahead and stick my stick blender in here. I'm gonna start blending it together. And at this stage, it's still pretty watery. I don't know if you can see that very well, but it's at a state of emulsion right now where everything's mixed together. It's not separated. You can tell how smoothly it runs off my blender. That's usually a good spot if you are dealing with a hard oil like coconut oil, which this is not. But emulsion's not good enough for a slower to trace soap, so I like to go a little bit further. Gonna go ahead and check it. And I'm getting a little bit of some drippings. It's a little bit slow to fill back in. That's probably a little bit more of a beginning stage of trace, but I want to get a little bit further along. Check it. It's gotten a little bit thicker, but I'm going to keep going. check it. So at this point, I'm going to set this aside for right now. When I take my spatula through there, you can see kind of a little bit of a line that it's leaving behind, maybe a little bit. That's kind of where your trace is going to be, and that's why it gets its name as trace, because it leaves a little bit of a trace behind wherever you're working. This is still not quite as thick as I'm wanting it to be, so I'm going to keep going. Going to check it. I'm still going to go a little bit more. I'm going to give that a look. Still can go just a teeny. Okay, I'm happy with that. I'm going to take this off, set it aside. Now when you look at it, it's starting to form some peaks in there. And that's the point where I'm okay with. I'm going to go ahead and pour this out. And again, once your oils is hot and you add your hot lye water solution to your batch, it does speed this process up. Now, when it saponifies, it's going to take about 24 to 48 hours, and that's when the lye disappears so that it becomes skin safe. But it's still going to need an additional 4 weeks or so for it to cure, where all the water that we've added into the soap will come back out. And that will give it a really good high quality. It'll last a long time, and it'll just be wonderful. So we will be back when I get ready to do the unmolding on this soap and clean this up, and I'll see you guys in a little bit. Welcome back. It's been a little over 24 hours. The bars are really good and hard. They should have come out a lot sooner than this, but it's alright. I can do this. Thankfully they're in individual molds, so I don't have to worry about cutting the soap, and they turn out just beautiful. I'm really happy with how this looks. I'll mold a couple others here. Sometimes the edges get a little bit rough, and you can take a knife and kind of scrape some of those edges off. So these will cure for about 4 weeks, and then they will be ready to be available. If any of you want to go ahead and purchase these, you can. I love these silicone molds because they just pop right out and they're very easy to clean and take care of. I'm sorry guys, my camera just cut out on me right as I was taking this out, so I'm sorry. I hope everything turns out. I don't know, I'll have to go back and edit it, I guess. And with the partial bars, sometimes you get a little bit of lingering edges. Now they do have a soap cutter that does help take some of those edges off so it's nice and smooth on the back. I don't mind keeping partial bars because I can use them for testing later. And that way I can keep the whole bars for you guys, and I can take what is left over, because I make a lot of these anyway, so having something that I can keep for myself is just kind of nice. Anyway, I guess you've seen this video, and if you like some of the tips and tricks I mentioned in here, you can come back for more later on. Bye now.